Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Force with some more Friday Night Magic. This will likely be the last episode with Duels 2014 as we'll be moving into Duels 2015 come next week. It's a pretty exciting time. I honestly cannot wait to move on from the current installment of Duels. I'm just really excited for what the future brings, basically, with Duels 2015, allowing with deck customization and all of that. So anyways, I figured we'd go out with a bang. This was actually the next deck in our lineup, regardless of the fact, and we're gonna be going out with Avakin's Glory, a super hyper aggressive white weenie deck. In fact, we're opening up with about as aggressive as a start as possible. Champion of the Parish. It's a 1/1. Whenever a human, another human creature enters the battlefield, Champion of the Parish gets a 1/1 counter on it. So next turn, we're gonna play Gather the Townsfolk. It's gonna put two 1/1 counters in play. They both count as humans, and then this is going to turn into a 3/3 creature just like that, which is pretty exciting stuff. A big concern, though, is that the deck that we're running against does have removal, so he may very well get rid of... the Champion of the Parish next turn, but at the least we should get 3 damage off on him this turn. I don't anticipate that he will be blocking with his 2/2, just because the 2/2 that he played is a valuable creature. And especially if he's got that removal, the last gasp, which is target creature gets -3/-3, then he would definitely not block. So what he played was a Dimir Guildmage. It's a 2/2. You can have a player draw a card or discard a card by tapping 4. It's a very useful utility creature. So let's see, does he have that removal? If he does, he has not played it yet. He can play it as an instant, so it's quite possible that he's just waiting to play it. All right, I'm gonna try something here. We're gonna try playing the Soul Warden and see if he responds by killing it. Oh, he does not. That is really good for us because now we're gonna follow up with the Honor of the Pure. White creatures you control get +1/+1. So it's gonna pump these guys up even further, and we will swing with everything. That's gonna be 2/2/2s as well as a 5/5. And I would assume that he'll block the 5/5. In fact, he might still have the removal. He might block and last gasp it, but I'm still okay with this attack because it's a lot of damage still going through. Looks like he takes it all. That is 9 damage, bringing him down to 8. Things are not looking too good for our opponent here, Mr. Dragor 11. In fact, I'm pretty sure that we just straight up win at this point. Yeah. Because if he... we've got Path to Exile in our hand. This is single target removal. We're going to be able to get rid of his creature. Alright, he was replaced by AI. So, he obviously realized the fact that this game was a wash. He's going to force us to discard a card. That's quite fine. I will discard a Path to Exile, as a matter of fact. We'll discard one of those. And we're going to play the second one to force our creatures through. That way, the AI can't block the 5/5. And this lets him gain 2 life, but more damage is going through because this would be his obvious block target, right? So, gonna Path to Exile that. It'll exile a creature, and then they gain... Oh, excuse me. I was thinking of... I was not thinking of Path to Exile. No, I was not. I was thinking of Swords of Plowshare, which is a completely different situation. So either way, there's a GG. Game number 1 is a victory. All right, time for game number 2. This is not exactly the type of opening hand that I look for, so let's draw a new one. I'm gonna keep it. I know it's only 1 Plains, but guess what? We've got like a couple of 3/1 drops, 2 2-drops, and a 3-drop. So all we need to do is draw into one more land, and we're gonna be sitting pretty for a while. Oh no, that's no good. He's playing the Phantasm deck. I'm not gonna be able to get damage off on him for quite some time. Oh, that's no good at all. All right, well, let's take a look at our 2-drops. We've got the First Strike. Enters the battlefield if opponent controls more lands than you may search your library for planes, or we can go, opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities during my turn. So if we get this, the 2/2 First Strike, that will effectively allow us to block that. The only problem is that if he plays a Pump Up, then that becomes a 3/3. But maybe he doesn't play the Pump Up, and this will effectively stop him from blocking. So we're actually going to go with our Knight of the White Orchid. The White Orchid. The White Orchid. It is a 2/2 first strike. If you're not aware, if you're new to Magic, first strike means that when two creatures fight each other, first strike creatures do their damage first. And if they kill the other creature, then they do not take any of the creature's damage. So if my 2/2 engages with his 2/2, my 2/2 hits him first. If he dies, then his 2/2 will not deal damage to my creature. That's exactly how it works. And I got lucky as he did not play the pump up for and we drew into another land. This is unbelievable. We're going to go with a Mentor of the Meek. This is going to allow us to start drawing cards now whenever we play creatures with power 2 or less, which we will be doing quite a bit of. So we're going to go with a Mentor of the Meek now. So that we can, in the upcoming turns, play cards, draw a card, play card, draw a card. It's just going to sort of be a pretty crazy chain effect. And should I attack or should I still save for blocking? I'm actually going to stay for blocking. We're going to play this defensive position at this point. And there we go. There we go. Okay. So he bounces back the Mentor of the Meek, which is quite unfortunate. That's gonna delay our game plan, basically, of card draw. I am really lucky in the fact, though, that he doesn't have his Lord of the Unreal, which pumps up his phantasms. Oh, he copied the Knight of the White Orchid. I actually anticipated that he would copy the Phantasmal Bear. So I'm assuming he just doesn't have the sort of stuff that he's really looking for. We do have that too, but I'm gonna hold off on that. No, you know what? Let's just go ahead and play it. We're gonna go like this. Second Soul Warden, so we're gonna keep gaining life. The card draw stuff, it'll come out eventually. That's my idea. We went ahead and threw down the Honor of the Pure. This is going to pump up our white creatures, so this now makes my Knight of the White Orchid a 3/3 as opposed to his 2/2. And even if he does pump up the Phantasmal Bear, again, we now will have a response because our creature is bigger than his. Or it will be on equal footing when he eventually plays a Lord of the Unreal. That's the biggest threat with this deck that we're playing. But again, apparently it's quite evident that he is not getting exactly what he's looking for. We're gonna go with a Mentor of the Meek right now. Here's his counterspell. Okay. Cryptic Command. Choose two. Counter a spell or return target permanent to its owner's hand, or tap all creatures your opponent controls. Or draw a card. So he's going to pick us two. Looks like he's going to be bouncing that back. So we don't get the card draw. We're going to play our Doom Traveler. We're going to gain a bit of life. And then it goes to him. So we've been gaining a ton of life this whole time. This is going to be this is such a different game from the last game. Last game, hyper aggressive, done very early. This game, very defensive, much more slow, methodical. What is he playing here? Whenever you cast a creature spell, becomes a 4/4 illusion with flying until end of turn. Wow, that's really good. And you know, we may very well lose this game too. This is not. We definitely got set back quite a bit. We're gonna throw down the Grand Abolisher so that he cannot play or activate things during my turn. And then we're gonna throw down the Knight of the White Orchid, which he recently bounced back. Also, mind you, now that we've got two Soul Wardens in play, we keep gaining life. So. There you go. And yeah, I'm gonna pass it over. It's literally the polar opposite of last game. Very, very defensive. It's a real big bummer though that we lost that Mentor of the Meek to his counterspell. I mean, that really, I would say if this got into play and we kept triggering off of our creatures, we would 100% have the victory. Now it's sort of, it's still quite possible that he can win. So he's going to bounce back here with an unsummon. He's going to choose the Grand Abolisher. And I'm guessing he's going to counterspell it when I replay it. But honestly, I need to attempt to replay it, so. Okay, so here's another counterspell. And we're drawing this stuff out, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with drawing this stuff out because we do have bigger threats later in the game. And again, sit back and relax. Sit back and play passively. This is going to probably be the death of us, though. He's going to Claustrophobia. That really sucks, actually. That's really, really rough. So this taps the creature and keeps it tapped. He's gonna play some creatures. We'll be gaining some life, but we're about to lose a bunch of life too. He will just attack. Oh no, he's gonna attack with both of those. I think I'm gonna block this. This will give me a flying blocker for next turn. So we're gonna block this. My creature dies. His will not because he has first strike. But this is also gonna give us a flying creature to block with for next turn. For once this guy comes back. So every time he plays a creature, that 4/4 is gonna. Oh my gosh. That is unbelievable. Well, he better hope he's got bounce in his hand. We just drew a 5/3. It's an Angelic Overseer. It's 5/3 flying. As long as I control a human, this card is indestructible. Cannot be destroyed. Exactly what it sounds like. The card is indestructible. So he needs bounce, and then he needs to follow up bounce with a counterspell. This also completely negates this card, because even though his creature is a 4/4, once it hits this thing won't die. It's indestructible. So the way this works is you cannot kill an indestructible, but you can remove it from play with like a bounce. He can bounce it back to my hand, and then when I try to replay it, he could counterspell it. All right, we're gonna throw down. Let's do combat first. Let's attack with our 6/4. I want to see if he's got bounce for it or anything. I'm gonna save our 2/2 flyer to block. He's gonna block with his 2/1. All right, so we get rid of that. If he swings at me next turn with this thing, then we're just going to block with our 2/2 flyer. That's fine. And he's not gonna have. He needs more blocking flyers because he's going to die in just a few turns. Once the 6/4 keeps swinging at his face. Oh well, here's another flyer right there. So he's gonna play this. It's a 3/4 flyer. So that will give him a blocker. He's gonna swing for 4. We're just gonna block that with our 2/2 probably. Well, you know what? We're at 37, so I can just take it. I will wait until there's a sort of a better situation. So we're gonna take it. We're gonna take all this damage. We're gonna take 6. So it'll bring us down to 31. I'm not in the point where I'm so concerned. So yeah, just take the. Oh my gosh, a second Angelic Overseer. This is where he probably flips the table and leaves. So let's see if he's got another counterspell first of all. He does not. So now we've got 2 Angelic Overseers in play, both of which are indestructible. Even if he gets rid of one, he's gonna have to deal with the second. His deck, I believe, has some mass I think he's probably running a sleep in there, so he could do that, which would set us off a bit. I'm feeling confident, but not positive of a victory here. I mean, we're at 33, so he's got a long way to go, but it's not impossible. Magic is one of those games where things can just go like that. The thing is, though, from what I know of the Phantasm deck, I don't know that he's got enough to deal with all of this stuff that we have, because we've got a lot in play. We're constantly gaining life. He's going to Phantasm Image. She's going to copy my 6/4 Indestructible. His problem, though, is he doesn't control a human. Or does he? Yes, he does. Oh, so his thing is indestructible. So he can block one of my indestructible flyers, but not both. So long as he controls that human. If I can get rid of that human, oh boy. Now my creatures are bigger than his, again. All my white creatures are going to get pumped up 1/1 once more. So let me look at this. He's at 14. He blocks both 7/5s. He blocks 2 3/3s. That's only 6 damage going through. There's no reason for me to try to force 6 damage through. So I'm just going to attack with these 2 right now. He will likely block both. Those. Oh, he's gonna take one of them. Okay, so it just goes down to 7. All right, and you'll notice they still take that damage, but they just don't die from it. Also, keep in mind, whenever a creature comes into play, we keep gaining 2 life from our double Soul Wardens. 2 Honor of the Pures is really amazing right now. Alright, he moves into combat phase. I'll be very interested to see what he does here. He's contemplating an attack. He's an attack with a 2/2. Yeah, he should not do that. That's his only human creature. I would have I would have double blocked to guarantee a kill just in case he bounced back one of the 2 creatures. And then his thing would not be indestructible anymore because that's the only human that he has possession of. Now he's going to mind control, so he's going to take one of our dudes here. Alright. So this is... Wait, what? Why would he take not one of the... Why would he not take one of the indestructible creatures? Oh boy. We can Fiend Hunter. Who should we Fiend Hunter? We could get rid of that. We could kill that just by targeting it. But he'll still have the 2 blockers. We can kill both of those because he has to block both of them. Okay, so we're going to throw down a Fiend Hunter. Fiend Hunter comes into play. It's a creature. Comes into play, allows us to exile target creature. Oh, excuse me. Clarify. You may exile another target creature. But we cannot exile that because it is hexproof and indestructible, of course. So let's exile his 3/4 flyer. That's actually going to kill it because we're targeting it. So the net result is the same. We're getting rid of his thing. And actually, we have enough. He blocks both flyers. No, I don't want to swing with everything because he can block both. I mean, he could double block this. I don't expect him to. So actually, I will attack with this too. Okay, we're going to attack with our 4/4 as well. Because if he double blocks it, then he loses both of these. And then that loses indestructible and it will die. So if anything, I expect him to block one of this for this, and then block both flyers with both of his flyers. And then he's going to keep his human in play. Okay, so there are both of our flyers being blocked. Is he going to let the 4 go through? He's going to block with a 2/2. He's going to double block. This is going to kill his 5/3. That is perfect. Because we should do damage to that first. Unless the first strike negates it. Oh, that is perfect. Okay, so what happened there is he double blocked my 4/4 with 2 2/2s. In the process, we killed the human that he had, which then made his angel that was indestructible no longer indestructible. Disappears, it dies. You get the picture. And now, we win the game quite handily. We're going to attack with everything. Now, yeah, attack with everything. He's replaced by AI. And now on to our third and final game. The opponent does get to play first. That means we get to draw first. This is a little land heavy, but we do have the Soul Wardens, which will keep us in the game a little bit longer. So we'll go ahead and keep this hand. I honestly can't get over just the stark contrast from game number 1 to game number 2. It almost felt like 2 completely different decks. Game number 1, it was just insane aggression. We're in his face. We're killing him within, I think that first game was like 4 minutes long, if that. And then game number 2, it's like a 15-minute game where we're gaining a ton of life. We've got the whole board under control. Like, I don't know. I love it. That was great. That was a lot of fun, to be honest. All right, so we are playing against the zombie deck now, black zombie deck. So we're gonna want to play it a little slow. And this is gonna be, this game is likely to be a little more reminiscent of the second game than the first game. Because I don't want to attack into this. It's gonna force me to discard a card at random. I'll let him attack me if he wants to. Or I'll at least wait until I've dumped my hand before we attack and let him chump block at that point. Not gonna throw away my Soul Wardens at all either. That would just be dopey. And if he attacks with it, I will take the damage. His best move is to not attack with that, though. That is not a good move for him. Oh my gosh. You know what? We could just honor the pure. Let me wait till next turn. I will do it next turn. I don't want to lose the Oblivion Ring, though. Remember, I'm going to discard a card at random with this Black Cat, so... I really don't want to lose the Oblivion Ring. I think I'll attack now. No, let's go with Honor of the Pure. Let's just, excuse me, let's go with the God of the Townsfolk. It's going to give us 2/1/1s. It's also going to gain us a bunch of life. And we'll save our big attack for next turn. We'll see. Honestly, I'm not sure yet. Because I don't want to attack into this, discard a card at random, and lose the Oblivion Ring. That's that's the problem. I pray he attacks right now. Okay, he's not going to. So I think we're going to have to get rid of that. Actually, there's no question about it. This is... His zombies cost 1 less to control. They get pumped up pretty huge. So we're going to be holding off on the Honor, the Pure, plus our attack. We'll be holding off on both of those. So we're going to play the Oblivion Ring. We will be getting rid of his creature here. And we will still not attack. Because there's a 50% chance... yeah, if we can't attack. There's a 50% chance we'll lose Honor the Pure, which that'd be so stupid if we lost that. Next turn, there's a good chance we'll be able to dump our hand entirely and then attack, making the discard effect from the Black Cat worthless. Perfect. That's just perfect. Okay. This is so unbelievable. In this matchup, I can't believe we drew this in this matchup. There's one of these in the deck. First Strike Vigilance, Protection from Vampires, Werewolves, and Zombies. His entire deck is zombies. Target removal will still kill it, though. So I'm going to play Honor the Pure first. And then Elite Inquisitor. So that when it comes into play, it's bigger. Less of a chance that he will just outright have a way to kill it. And then we attack with everything. Full swing. He's going to Doomblade. He will be killing who? He will be killing that. That's a good target. Because that thing, just that one card obliterates his deck. But... he's still in a bit of hot water right now. We just did 10 damage to him. Now, I think his deck might have mass removal. Potentially. Or he just... oh my gosh. This is unbelievable. Power and depth is each equal to the number of creatures you control. When it enters the battlefield, put 2 1/1 flyers in play. Yeah, I actually want to do this pre-combat, because if he kills one of my Soul Wardens, I'd like to at least gain, I'm going to gain 6 life off of this. This thing is huge. It's a 9/9. Alright, we're going to attack with everything. Let's see what he does. Tendrils of Corruption. Okay, so that's the sort of thing. And he's going to choose one of my Soul Wardens. So that worked out perfectly. That's basically what I was hoping would happen. I play that pre-combat. If he kills a Soul Warden, at least I still get the benefit of the extra life gain. I've got the Geist Honor Monk in play right now. It's an 8/8 with Vigilance, which means it doesn't tap when it attacks. So it can attack, it can block. But what's more is that he's at 4... and he's dead next turn. He's pretty much... should be dead next turn. He's going to block the 8/8. Guaranteed 4 in the air. Yeah, he's absolutely positively dead this turn. No questions asked. Just play this just for the hell of it. So if he tries to play a non-creature spell, it costs 1 more, and he couldn't play it. Actually, that just gave him an extra life. It shouldn't... yeah, it doesn't matter. He's super dead. I don't even know why I'm... it doesn't matter. Well, there you go. There you go. Look at that. Sweet, sweet victory. Oh, come on. You're really going to make me go through this? Yes. There you go. GG, you. And that, my friends, is going to do it for this episode of Friday Night Magic. But more importantly, this will likely be the last Magic 2014 Friday Night Magic, because next Friday, we will have Duels 2015. So an entire new game to start these FNM games with. But if you're still interested in playing the 2014 version, I will show you my deck list here for Avakin's Glory. We've got Mykius the Lunarch. It's a 0/0, enters the battlefield with X counters on it. You can put counters and remove counters to pump up other creatures you control. Pretty awesome. Champion of the Parish. This thing is a game winner. There's 4 of them in this deck. It's a 1/1 for 1, plus it gets pumped up with a 1/1 counter whenever a human enters the battlefield under your control. Doomed Traveler, it's a 1/1 for 1, and when it dies, it comes back as a 1/1 flyer. The Soul Warden for life gain. We got I'm surprised. There's only 2 of these in the deck, and those last 2 games, we had both of them. So yeah, whenever any creature comes into play, gain a life. Path to Exile for creature removal. The creature you remove, its controller gets to put a land into play tapped. Thalia, it's a 2/1 first strike. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. 2 of those. Knight of the White Orchid, a 2/2 first strike, where when it comes into play, if your opponent has more lands, you get to search for lands, put them into play. Elite Inquisitor, 2/2 first strike, vigilance, protection from vampires, werewolves, and zombies. That was hilarious to have that in the last game. The Grand Abolisher, a 2/2, and makes it so that during your turn, your opponent cannot play spells or activate abilities. Honor the Pure to pump up all your white creatures. There are 3 of these in the deck. We've got Gather the Townsfolk, the perfect follow-up to our turn 1 play of Champion of the Parish. This gets you 2 1/1 tokens in play. Also, if you have 5 or less life, you can get 5 tokens in play. It's rare that you take advantage of that, but that's another fringe benefit of it. Mentor of the Meek, there are 2 of these in the deck. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see it in action, but it's hilarious. If you get this in play and you start triggering that card draw, it's pretty much game over at that point. Getting that hand advantage in a deck that's this aggressive can be the nail in the coffin pretty quickly. Fiend Hunter for more creature exile removal, which allows you to push through that extra damage. Oblivion Ring for more removal. This deck has a lot of that, actually. Restoration Angel, it's a 3/4 flash flying. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-creature you control, and then put that back in the battlefield. So this basically allows you to replay a creature with a trigger effect. It also allows you to save a creature. If there's a creature that your opponent's trying to kill, you can save it with Restoration Angel by removing it from play. Whatever was trying to kill your creature then fizzles, and then your creature comes back into play nice and safe. The Angelic Overseer, 5/3 flying. As long as you have a human in play, it has hexproof and it's indestructible. Hilarious. We also have the Baneslayer Angel, 5/5 flying, first strike, lifelink, protect from demons and dragons, and then 2 of the Geist Honored Monks. You guys saw this in the last game. It's pretty beast, pretty awesome, and that's the deck. That does it for Friday Night Magic. I will see you next Friday, and probably before next Friday with some more Magic the Gathering, because on launch day, I'm probably going to make some videos about this, because I can't wait for Duels 2015. I hope you guys can't wait either. I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Keep watching and keep owning.